Alright, so first things first, I have to emphasize, I'm really going to prefer using my phone on this. I can see that already. So this is how it's making it darker. This is how it's going to make it lighter. So let's get as light as we can so you can see everything that's going on here. Alright, so we just kind of talked about it. What we're going to be doing now is we're going to go ahead and wrap up her hair. Then we're going to come in and clean up everything that's on the cape and finally join these two pieces together to make them into one solid piece as opposed to making it look like the background and a foreground. So that's a fun trick. But it's that little 5% in your detail that really adds to your art and makes it all overall worthwhile. So the last thing that we had in our color cup was transparent white, transparent blue. We're not going to go too far from it, especially dealing with her hair. I still have some white in there, so actually I'm going to go ahead and start fading these lines down. No, I'm not. I'm going to go ahead and put the blue in. And again, we always work best light to dark, so I'm going to use a lighter blue, but ultimately I'll actually come in with my brush and put the highlights in. So I keep a little water cup here just so you guys know. Pretty quick and easy, but it's about dry, so we're going to have to fill that up probably on our next break. So when it comes to hair, it's actually, you can kind of go any which way. The main thing that you are going to want to do is do a variation of airbrush and paintbrush, because you're going to get fine hair-like effects out of your airbrush. That's awesome. You're still going to want to use your paintbrush though, just to kind of get the overall dimension and feel it needs. Turn on the air compressor. Clean off all the gunky white we just used for highlights and the flames. Again, I'm using my spray out board to make sure that my white has been cleared out and it's going to go to blue. So it's going to be using white, and blue. Alright, right now. Okay. Clean off the brush a little bit. Go ahead and grab our shield. And the reason we're mainly using this one is it's got a little smaller edges on it. This is the Super Shield. It actually comes in a mini size, probably a little bit more handy. But you're going to be doing large portraits, and I'm just going to kind of jump in wherever. Just kind of following the shape of the hair. Nothing really amazing about this part of the project. It's just basically you're just building your base tone to play off of at a later time. But definitely adds dimension. So I'm actually going to go back to front. I'm going to come down like this, that way I'm not dragging my shield through it like you just saw me try to do. So we're going to go ahead and get away from that for a second. Just lining up the different shapes. So, probably do a lot of this freehand, so I'm just going to jump in here and get that real quick. Main thing we do want to pay attention to is her face. I don't want to get a bunch of overspray on her face. So I'm going to freehand it, but I'm going to actually drop my shield over the side of her face like this, just to kind of keep it off the skin. As you can see, I kind of already brush stroked in some color, so I kind of already know what's going to be darker versus lighter. So I'm just going to continue to kind of play off of that. So, when I first started learning to airbrush, and I'm not a pro by any means at this point, but when I first started to learn how to airbrush, one thing that I was horrible about was I didn't want to use my paintbrush for absolutely any reason whatsoever. The real airbrush artists don't use paintbrushes. They might not, but they do use X-Acto knives to cut in hairlines, and they also use erasers to cause an abrasive pattern that you might go over one day. I'm pretty good about using the eraser myself, actually. I don't think we're going to need too much on this project, though. Alright. So again, I'm going to cover her face. That's the only part I'm concerned with skin tone-wise. Got a little bit of caterpillar there. Those always suck. So now I'm going to go ahead and start playing off of these lines. Maybe I can stop caterpillar for a second. Yeah, and then I spilled blue paint all over myself. So there are a couple different things that can cause caterpillar. Consistency of paint's the main one. Too high of air pressure with watery paint does it a lot. And also dirty tip. I'm actually going to go vote for dirty tip on this one. Clean up that tip. You don't see very often. The constant cleaning of the airbrush. So, go ahead and get an airbrush because it's a glamorous lifestyle. Fast cars and loose women. That's fine. Just remember to keep the tip clean. So. You know, see, the paint's actually mixed itself out so that now I'm spraying a lighter shade of blue. Almost white. So that tells me that there's color separation in my cup. Fine, it happens. It's not going to kill me in this case. But some other time it could actually really hurt your project. This one actually kind of worked out in my advantage. So I'm going to get my little shield here again real quick. Let's try to build up that paint. And again, you'll notice I'm dragging the shield through the paint. Don't do that. Get this kind of outline. But you're not going to be able to do this whole hair, and I mean, I'm certainly not. Maybe you can. But you're not really going to be able to do the entire hair with the airbrush. You're going to have to come back in with the paintbrush eventually. So, just try to keep that in mind. This isn't a how-to airbrush for everyone. This is just kind of what I do personally. So, you might absolutely hate my technique. That's fine. I've just found that it works for me. Someone like Drew Blair comes along and tells you different, and you should definitely probably go with that. Set some of these lines up top, and then we're going to call it a day with the airbrush on this hair. You'll notice I'm not really trying to control it at this point. I don't care if it gets all over the cape. You kind of want it to, otherwise you're going to end up with the exact same effect that we're going to have to fix later on the background. So overspray actually kind of works in your favor whenever stuff needs to get blended. Now this time I'm going to start at the top of these and work my way down. So paint's starting to build up on the shield. It's one thing I like about felt shields that you make yourself. So basically we've eliminated most of our hard lines at this point. That's really all we're trying to do. Maintain color-ish. Kind of build a base to build off of. And eliminate hard lines. Mission accomplished. freehand this last one just because I'm not really seeing the shape that I can recall being on that shield that's going to match that. Alright, so there we go, we got the base coat down for our hair. I'm going to go ahead and get the brush and all that good stuff ready, and then we'll go back in for our couple passes on it. I think we'll go ahead and hit that face up with the brush detail rather. Let's see what happens.